Hey, what's up Guardians, TBL here, bringing you another Destiny video on the PlayStation 4. Now in this video, we're going to be talking a little bit about the big bad exotic weapon patch that dropped earlier today. That's right, it's finally happened. This patch has been in the works for quite some time, and it addresses and rebalances many of the game's exotic weapons. And we're just going to be going through some of the biggest changes that Bungie has brought through just in time for the Dark Below expansion pack. Now we are very quickly going to be going over the patch notes, which read as thus. Exotic weapons are designed to look, feel, and sound overpowered. At the same time, they're not supposed to break the balance of the game. We hope that these weapons challenge the way players think about their loadouts. Exotics will always be a constant work in progress. Now, in preparation for the Dark Below, exotic armor and weapons no longer require Ascendant materials to upgrade. This means exotic armor and weapons will no longer require Ascendant shards or Ascendant energy to be fully upgraded. The final upgrade node of all exotic gear will now require an exotic shard. These shards can be obtained by one of the following means. You can either get them by dismantling unwanted exotic weapons and armor, or purchasing them from Juju, Agent of the Nine, for a total of 7 strange coins. This is a massive change. Before this patch, you were required to build up on Ascendant shards and energy, which can be attained via completion of your daily missions or daily bounties, as well as by completing the weekly and nightfall missions. Dismantling legendary or exotic weapons and armor would also grant you Ascendant energy or shards respectively. But generally, it took quite a grind to get enough Ascendant materials to fully upgrade an exotic weapon or armor piece. All of that is now out the window, at least for exotics. You no longer have to farm for Ascendant materials, and now just have to gain 1 exotic shard, as you can see here, to fully upgrade your weapons. This is fantastic, and it's going to make leveling exotics so much easier. And speaking of material grinding, players will now be able to use Vanguard and Crucible marks to purchase Spin Metal, Relic Iron, Spirit Bloom, and Helium filaments from the Vanguard and Crucible Quartermasters in the tower. This means you no longer have to go on farming runs for that last 16 pieces of spin metal that you need to upgrade your SUROS regime. You can now purchase them directly from vendors in the tower. Additionally, completing your daily heroic story mission will now drop materials for whatever planet that mission took place on. The same applies for your daily patrol bounties. You'll now also get farming materials from those as well. This is going to make leveling up your weapons and armor so much easier, since you'll no longer have to rely on farming routes and RNG to get all of the spin metal that you need. A fantastic change in my opinion. But alright, moving on. Another big part of this patch is the exotic weapon rebalancing. There have been so many buffs that it's really difficult to cover them all within the time allotted here. So I'm just going to go through what I believe to be the biggest ones. First things first, sing praises to the heavens, Thorn and Bad Juju have finally been buffed. These two weapons in particular, of course, generally being considered the worst 2 exotics in the game, have seen some really major changes in this patch. Thorn in particular's projectiles now briefly highlight targets upon impact. The latent damage caused by the Mark of the Devourer ability has now been increased against PvE targets. It's received a reload speed increase as well as a magazine size increase, which, oh man, is really what this weapon needed. As well as a buffed ammo inventory size, and stability and weapon handling have both been increased. This, in my opinion, has really turned Thorn into a solid weapon of choice. And while it still doesn't take the place of a gun like Hawkmoon, Thorn is well worth your time now. Up next, Bad Juju has seen a magazine size increase to 8 bursts from its previous 5. This definitely helps with the Bad Juju's signature problem of running out of ammo literally 0.5 seconds after you pull the trigger. The ammo inventory size was also increased, and the String of Curses special ability now has the added effect of decreasing the cooldown of your super upon getting kills. Basically meaning that String of Curses will now regen your Guardian super. That's amazing. Seriously, that sounds like an insane ability. Unfortunately, I haven't gotten that far in my upgrading of Bad Juju. Literally, once I completed that bounty, I kind of just put it in my vault and didn't touch it. But I'm going to be playing around with this weapon quite a bit, trying to get it upgraded so that I can get a video out for you guys showing this ability off in particular. Just a couple other little updates. The SUROS regime has had its namesake perk's damage output reduced just a little bit. The Monte Carlo method now has the chance to fully recharge your melee ability upon getting a kill, and the Pocket Infinity has had its enhanced battery perk restored, bumping up its magazine size from 3 to 5, making the weapon much more viable in PvP and PvE. Now, there are plenty more small updates to the other exotic weapons, but the last one I really wanted to talk to you guys about is the one that I'm the most excited for. And that is the return to glory, the buffing of the Vex Mythoclast. All hail the king, baby. The Mythoclast has had its attack power increased to 323 from the previous maximum total of 300, making it the weapon with the highest attack stat in the game. And believe me, this increase in base damage definitely shows. The Mythoclast suffered a pretty heavy damage nerf not too long ago, in an attempt to balance out the weapon for PvP. Unfortunately, that had a lot of side effects on the weapon's PvE performance. But needless to say, many of those issues have been put to rest, and while it's not as powerful as it was in the original game, before the buffs and the nerfs, in its current form, it is certainly worthy of being called Destiny's ultimate weapon. Look at how I am absolutely melting these guys. Now, I haven't had a chance to try it too much in PvP, but in PvE, this thing shines. And I can't wait to rip Crota a new one. But all in all, that about covers all of the news I wanted to talk to you guys about in Destiny Exotic Weapon Patch 1.1. We are only a few days away now from the drop of Destiny's first expansion pack, The Dark Below. And with all of these wonderful rebalanced exotic weapons at our fingertips, I think we're gonna do pretty good. But alright, that about wraps up this video, guys. If you like what you saw here, feel free to check out my channel where we'll have a ton more Destiny videos coming out soon. And keep your eyes peeled for more in-depth videos on Destiny's newly empowered exotic weapons and armor. Anyways, that's gonna be it for me now, guys. As always, I am the Black Link. You Guardians, stay frosty. And remember, when it comes to that Mythoclast, all hail the king, baby. All your base are belong to us.